Hi, Purpose Partner. Welcome to another episode of Rise to Your Purpose, a personal and spiritual development podcast for female entrepreneurs with a mission. We are your hosts, Brandie and Natalie.
We are founders of Victorious Entrepreneurs Rising, where we guide women to build profitable businesses online through diversifying your income, using kingdom principles in marketing, and operating in a spirit of rest so that you can create kingdom impact.
After this episode, be sure to join our Purpose Partner Facebook community and get your copy of our Rise to Your Purpose devotional so we can continue to serve you as we partner together in our faith and business. Let's dive into today's episode.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. I'm so excited for you to be able to listen today. But before we get started, I wanted to let you know, special announcement that we are relaunching our Rise to Your Purpose devotional. This is a 30-day interactive devotional for women of faith who want to shine their light in the business world. And so this is going to take you on 10 days of building your identity and 10 days on really diving into alignment and your core values, and then 10 days on rising as a leader so you can step into the purpose and calling that God has for you. We believe, sister, that you have been called for more, and we know that He wants you to dive into really abiding in Him and really knowing, just that full journey that He has for you. And so we believe that you are Victorious Entrepreneurs Rising, and we want to help equip you for that calling. And so be sure to grab the devotional after the podcast episode. You can grab it in the show notes. We are going to be shipping them to you personally, and you will have this month. They will be great too if you want to have them for Christmas gifts. They will come in time, and or get a few for your team or your business besties. You will definitely going to love walking through this book together. And then join us inside of the Purpose Partner community in January, where we will be kicking off our 30 Days to Rise. So everyone who has this devotional, come January after the new year, we are going to kick it off with this Devo and the 30 Days to Rise workshop that'll take place each day inside of the Purpose Partner community. You'll have access to it through our guides, and you're going to have the coaches from myself, Brandie Thomas, and Chrissy McKee, who has even helped us with the 30 Days to Rise. And so you're going to have access to those modules, and where each day we just give you some extra value for what you're reading inside of there and to help you with your study. So we are excited for you, and we can't wait for you to grab your copy. Now tune into today's episode. For another episode of Rise to Your Purpose. And I am very excited to be introducing you ladies to Miss Gail Root here, because she has just being able to talk to her has been so enlightening for me and inspiring as another kingdom-driven woman in the network marketing space. And so she has years of experience, and she's a kingdom business coach for women of faith in the direct sales and network marketing industry. So I knew she would be perfect for you ladies to be able to hear today and just get a lot of wisdom from her. So her clients are typically empty nesters, and they also have years of experiences really who are hungry. These are women who are hungry for purpose. You have adventure, but you're uncompromising in your commitment to really work smarter, not harder, which y'all know we are a fan of that. And her passion is watching her clients really, truly get results when they learn how to first grow in their intimacy with God, then learn how to sell, recruit, and build community from a kingdom perspective so that they can serve, prosper, and multiply at the highest level. So she has signature programs that she works with women in. She has a membership group. She also has a podcast and a coaching app. And so they're all dedicated to really help to awaken her clients to biblical truth in their business. And so we're excited for her to join us today. I'm excited for you ladies to be able to listen and kind of hear from her. We're going to be talking about, the topic of prospecting, and really how do we serve over sell, and what does that look like? And also, I think just kind of diving in a little bit to, she's had these years of experience. She has a lot of experience with coaching women. And so also kind of her biggest takeaways of kind of what she was, what she knows now that she wishes she knew then, that she can impart to you, because we really know that as kingdom women, it is almost necessary that we are showing up, that we are being bold in the marketplace, that we are sharing our faith and building profitable businesses. And so we believe if women are really working and diving into this, then and really learning the skills and, like she said, growing their intimacy with God, there's so much that God can do in that. And so, Gail, thank you so much for being on the podcast today, and the training. And we would love to feel free to introduce yourself a little bit more and kind of share a little bit of your journey. And I'd love to dive into this topic.
Well, first of all, Natalie, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It's a blessing to be here. You are such a joy. And I'm so grateful for our connection. And I know that this is just the beginning of kingdom collaborations, and you and I will continue to connect. So I'm a wife to my husband, Eric. We've been married 28 years. We have 3 sons. 2 have graduated from college. 1 will be a junior. So we are in that empty nest, approaching that empty nest stage. It's been a joy to raise sons. I grew up in a home, all girls, and 5 girls and my mother. And then my dad, actually, I grew up in direct sales. My father was in direct sales. My dad is 89 today. I watched him. I don't know if we've talked about this, Natalie, but I watched my father champion women. And we're talking about at a time in history in our country where women were not working outside of the home. And he was championing them to bring income into their families as they worked from home, whether it was encyclopedias, cosmetics, there were different along the way. But it's in my DNA, it's in my blood. I am retired completely now from selling and recruiting or any affiliation with any one company, so that I thought God was calling me out of the industry when he called me to Christian coaching. It was really the first time in my journey where he called me to be overtly Christian in my branding. And I had such freedom and joy in that call. So I thought I was leaving the industry, and I kept getting this not green light from him to go. And I kept praying, like, Lord, come on, like let's finish this thing so I can move on to coaching. And finally it was like, oh my gosh, Gail, this is your field of favor. This is where you've been raised. This is where your experiences. Why would you leave? The women want to work with you here, but now just teach them from a kingdom perspective. So that's how I got sitting across from you. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I love that. And I know some of the women might be listening also know Sabrina. We connected also more even through her. And that's what I think resonated so much is that, and that's really where, how Purpose Partners, it was really about bringing kingdom principles into business building. And like I said, having a community where women can come and collaborate with one another and really learn and thrive. It didn't matter what team you're on or, where you were with leadership and all of that stuff, that we could all really grow together. So I love that. So I'd love for you to share a little bit then, because I know I was sharing with you that some of the women, a lot of the women really, especially recently, I've been talking to, because I'm seeing kind of a surge again of people coming into the network marketing industry and really wanting to diversify their income more. But there's a fear in that prospecting part, right? And wanting to, they want to grow a business. They have these big God-sized dreams, but almost doing some of the work that it might require, such as prospecting, right, is a big part of it, recruiting, things like that.
Going live, reaching out.
Yep, reaching out, all those things. Women have been kind of scared to do that because they've either had a bad experience before, or they don't want to feel spammy or feel icky or think that they are spamming someone, right? And somebody else have a bad experience because of them. So they kind of have this this blocker for them. And so it's hindering, I think, some of that fast action growth.
Yes.
So I'd love for you to dive in a little bit to how you help women kind of overcome that, and how what would you say to women who are starting a business, or you're growing your business, you're trying to get that next level? What should prospecting look like in the kingdom?
Beautiful. All right. Well, so much to unpack, and I'll try to do it in a concise way. First of all, you need to know I've been there. Oh my gosh, have I been there? I remember early on of just all of the fear. What is she going to think? What is she going to say? Is she going to start avoiding me? All the things. So, and this is before online space, right? So this is, if you hear anything today, please hear this. It's not about you. Our businesses are not about us. They are about who God wants us to call and serve. And once you start taking on that serving posture, honestly, most of your fears go away. Once you start caring, there's one tool that almost, now there's so much more, but there's one tool. If you stay focused on that, it's not about you, it's about her. It's about showing up for her. And this can be in the going live. Some folks talk about going live. Oh, I can't go live. Well, guess what? If you're afraid for yourself, if you're focused on yourself and your fear of you might make a mistake, you might be embarrassed, you don't want to look vain, especially as a Christian woman, you don't want to look vain. The truth is the focus is on you. It's not on her. It's not on who you've been called to serve. But when you think, I need to focus on her, you do need to show up for her. She does need to see your face, hear your voice. And when you realize that, wow, I'm going live for her. And if you get on that camera and you just think about that one woman who is needing your message, then the fears just go away. I'm not saying that they are 100% evaporated, but your courage to do right by her, to serve her, is so much greater than that fear now. So that's just a huge shift. I think the biggest thing I find now for my clients, the ones who have been in the industry for a while, because most of my clients are in that 50 plus range. They've typically been in the industry 4 or 5 years. They want to build on kingdom values. And they're like, but this bridge, how do I bridge, Gail? How do I go from, hi, how are you on Facebook to, do you want to buy my stuff? Well, I'm like, well, first of all, you don't do that. It's like the 3-letter word. I say, please, I'm going to give you a 3-letter word and I'm going to give you a 4-letter word. And the 3-letter word is magic. The 4-letter word is the nightmare. Okay. So the 4-letter word is tell. When you have a mindset of telling people about what you do. Now, this is completely upside down to most of the training I got when I was in the industry. We were taught, you tell everybody, and it's just a numbers game. You just tell as many people as you possibly can, and some of them are going to buy it. Well, yeah, because they're just going to be like exhausted by it, right? So telling is coming from a place of self. It's my agenda. It's what I want you to know. Instead, the magical 3-letter word from a kingdom perspective is ask. Start asking her. This is true serving, ladies. When you are in a role of, I tell my clients, pretend you're Barbara Walters. Now, remember, we're older. I'm 55. So pretend you're Barbara Walters. She was like the queen of interviewing, the queen of asking questions. So this is the deal. If you start asking questions, and I'm talking about thoughtful questions now, you're going to have to do a little work where you're like, well, Gail, what are the thoughtful questions? Well, hello, you got to do some work. And this is important work that you do from a kingdom perspective. God, please show me, what are those powerful questions in relation to the products and the company that you're with? What are those powerful questions that I can ask? Is it about health? Is it about community? Is it about, is it about purpose? Is it about her feeling lonely? Is it about her needing community? Is it about her needing income? So asking questions that reveal those things so that when it comes time for you to ask her, if she wants to know more about what you have to offer, what you say is, here's the bridge. You say, you know what, Natalie, based on what I've heard you tell me, I've heard you say, you repeat back. There is something so incredibly powerful when someone repeats back what you've said, because what does that show? I'm listening to you. I care about you. I'm honoring and respecting what you're telling me. So as soon as she starts repeating, this is what I heard you say. I heard you have something that you might be interested in. Would you like for me to tell you about it? Now, that's the perfect bridge, because what are you doing? Are you selling her anything? No. Are you telling her anything? No. You have sat in it with a servant's heart, listening. Now, you've been strategic in the questions that you're asking. You're not asking her like, did she take underwater basket weaving last night, or what she made for dinner? If your company isn't health related, if your company's health related, you're probably going to be asking about her health and her lifestyle and how things are going. If your company's fun, community, fashion related, you might be asking her about what are the style trends right now that are bugging you, or what do you love, or what, so you're going to be asking her thoughtful, intentional questions that are going to be revealing powerful insights about what she truly needs and where your solution fits.
Yes, I love that so much. Like really that mindset shift is huge of what's in it for them. And I think that was like the biggest key for me. And I think those of us is probably why we feel, like you said, when people start to feel like they're spammy or icky or whatever, it's because, the kind of corporate trainings is
Yes.
usually, and especially in the past, I do believe a lot of companies I think are getting better, but yeah, that's where they're wanting you just to go and tell and share with as many, and everybody with skin in their brain might need, once and needs what you have. And so, and yeah, the numbers game thing. And I think that's why we initially are like, oh, that doesn't feel, authentic for me just to do that. Like, I don't want to, if they don't need it, why do I need to,
Right.
share it? So I love that part when it shifted to what's a high level way for me to serve and truly be a servant leader. It's getting to know people. It's
Yes.
asking, and then like you said, asking the thoughtful, intentional questions. Also not just being the person I feel like in Messenger that's just kind of, hi, how's your day? That kind of thing. And, or just the happy birthday messages. I feel like those can be, it almost leads to a surface level relationship, but where you're truly wanting to learn about the person, find out, do they have a need that you have a solution for?
Yeah.
I think that right there can be a huge difference.
I'm so glad you brought up, because what I didn't talk about is the bridge. And some of the ladies are going to be like, yeah, how did you know this is exactly what we were thinking? So the bridge from Messenger to, because obviously the kind of conversation I'm talking about is not a Messenger conversation, but we've got to start there. So Gail, what's the bridge from Messenger to what I call a coffee chat on Zoom? And so you might be like, oh, well, I don't want to ask people if they want to get on a coffee chat. Well, all right. So you have been on social media, you've been sharing things, and somehow this woman's connected with you. And so now you are doing some of the superficial, hi, how's the weather in Messenger. And then you do transition to one transition that I love is a survey. So I agree. It is not an easy jump. There's got to be some warm up connection before you're going to invite them into a coffee chat. What would be the reason? So, for example, you could say, hey, I'm giving away, let's say your cosmetics or skincare. I'm giving away a free 15-minute, 30-minute redo your makeup. Or facial or whatever on Zoom. Listen, they are so fun. My clients love these things, and there's zero purchase, necessary. But we go through together and I ask you questions and I really get to learn about your skin, what's important to you in skincare, what's important to you. I ask you all kinds of questions, and so you're serving me by helping me be a better servant to my clients, and I get to serve you by helping you. You're going to end up with a makeup look or some tricks and tips about contouring or coverage that you're going to be like, girl, I just thank you so much. So what do you say? So that's a great transition if you're in skincare wellness. Another one is just a survey. Hey, I'm doing a survey. So you create a Google form. Easy peasy. You create a Google form and you ask some health questions, or you ask some questions about purpose or community, depending on what you're looking for. And then just say, hey, I would, my demographic is typically, this woman. I would be really curious if you'd be willing to fill out. It's not going to take you 60 seconds to complete it. And we're just wondering if you would help me out. So a lot of women will say yes to that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to ignore you because they want to be of help. That is our nature. And this was so helpful. Thank you so much. I'd love to, in the future, when you're ready, I'd love to do a coffee chat with you and get to know you more.
Yeah, I love those ideas. I think I remember we would have kind of more value, like you said, more value driven events, but that we could come if they were going to be on there. And I was in the skincare company at the time too. And that was really helpful because we could you had that sort of rapport relationship. You kind of learned a little bit about them. Once you have that, you can go back, invite them to something that you might have that would be a value to them, but also a great way for them to see what you do and what you have to offer.
Yes.
And then you can grow from there of, hey, I'd love to get to know more about you and see more, and just kind of, like you said, bridge or, transition into that next step. And I love that you mentioned the coffee chats too, because I I think there's also a lot of trainings and things that say, let's basically make it as seamless as possible. And of course, we'd love everyone just to get our link and go sign up, and we didn't have to do anything. But again, it comes back to a high level servant mentality and really meeting their needs and where they are. And so being willing to block out 15 or 30 minutes to meet with people can make a huge difference. And I think especially too, if there are women that have multiple, streams or have different things of ways or different types of products.
Yeah.
And it truly gives you a way to, I think, kind of dive in a little more to find out how you can best help them.
Yeah. And I really get, I totally empathize with and really get that the feeling that this is going to take too long. And that, like when you describe that desire, like, oh, I've got this beautiful link, they're just going to click it and boom, they're just going to sign up. Or they're just it's like, okay, well, how often does that happen? Not often. So so what we're doing is we're putting an unrealistic expectation on our business, and therefore we are extremely frustrated because that unrealistic expectation is not being met. When the truth is, if we look at it from a kingdom perspective, God wants us in relationship with each other. And I want to ask you, if you really think about, if you had 12 new recruits this year, hello, if you invested in 12 women, caring about them, connecting with them, learning what truly is going on in their life, the likelihood that they're going to want to join you is dramatically higher than you sending some link or doing something or another. So if you poured into 12 women, I literally had I know a gal who's within a very established company. I'm talking like decades, multiple decades long company. So not some new company, right? We're always looking for the new thing, right? So not some new company. And she said, God gave her, she just said 10 women. I want you to focus on 10 women. And she blew the doors off of their companies. This is, she got the car and then the car again, and the car blew the doors off of her first 6 months with the company. Because she focused on 10 women, serving them at a high level. The enemy wants to tell us, oh, wait, way too slow. It's going to take way too long. Not enough numbers, not going to work. That's not who God is. God is about relationship, true relationship. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I'm so glad you said that. I feel like that's a great kind of wrap up for this too, is just to let the women remember, it truly is relationship marketing. That's where we are. And how and we want to encourage you to step into that servant leadership role. Yes. And take some of those steps that Gail just shared with us. And just as we wrap up, if we have a couple minutes, I would love for you to share, are there any last tips or things that you kind of had some revelations with your time in the industry, and now as you coach women, that you think can really just kind of maybe give a little bit of a breakthrough maybe for that woman listening of, kind of speaking for the last minute or so?
Thank you, Natalie. I'd say that there is one absolute game changer, and I could get very emotional about this. But I woke up every morning as an entrepreneur, and I have been, I like to say I've been an entrepreneur since had the lemonade stand and the Girl Scout cookies. But I have been, I'm 55, I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. And most of my mornings, I wake up and my brain is on fire before my feet hit the floor. And it's filled with a checklist, filled with all the to-dos, all the things. And I would pray during the day, loved the Lord, cared about serving, cared about doing the right Christian thing. But the truth is, I was guiding everything. And it wasn't until about 4 years ago, I started a morning practice, and it's 6 steps. And I am faithful and obedient to it. I've probably never been so obedient to anything in my life. He's born more fruit in my business, in my life, in my marriage, in my health, and anything else. And it basically is seek him first, honor him first. I make the coffee and I let the dogs out. That's about the only 2 things that happen first. But then it's sit in his presence, listen, let him love on me, let him feel my love. Of course, I get into the word and I get into, but my calendar is step number 6. I keep my grimy little fingers off of those to-do lists until the very end of my morning practice. And it is single-handedly brought more provision, more working from rest, more understanding of kingdom principles and how they apply in my life and my business than absolutely anything else I've ever done. So, and I have that. I have a coaching app, and you can get that free. If you drop that in the show notes form, it's called Master Your Morning. And if that speaks to you, go into the app, check it out. There's 6 different videos that kind of walk you through the 6 different steps. And that's just my gift to you. And it will bless you.
Yes. Wonderful. Yeah. We will put that in the show notes along with, I know, your website and every thing else of ways to get in connection with you. Is there any other ways besides, I know, your website, and go to your app, grab that download? I know, yes, having your morning, and it's even like convicting to me because I'm, kind of getting into this new season here, and I've had to remind myself, like, giving God, I love Molly Trotter, and you know her, she says about giving God your first fruits. And so I
love Molly.
Good. So yeah, where can they also connect with you, or what's the best place for them?
Yeah, so my Facebook group is a free group, and it's all women from all over the industry, all coming together as Kingdom Women. It's called Kingdom Solutions for Women of Faith and Network Marketing. But come join us there. You're welcome to join us there. Every Wednesday, you get to share your company, your products, your offer, whatever you have. And I kind of coach you, do some love seats on that on Wednesdays. And there's all kinds of things that happen all week in there. So.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for being on today. And yes, go connect with Gail. You'll definitely get so much value. So we will see you guys on the next episode.
Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We would love to hear from you. So please share your takeaways by tagging @LiveVictorious over on Instagram and leave a review.
This will help us get more visibility and reach more women like you for the kingdom. We appreciate you and are praying for you as you shine your light in the business world and rise to your purpose.